Hello there, everybody. How are we today? Happy Thursday, happy Easter, however you may be celebrating it, whether you're on holiday or you're working or you're studying or whatever you're doing. Happy Easter. Is it a happy thing? I don't know. Happy holidays to say the very least. So, welcome. Hello. Thank you for joining us today on quite a big day today. We're getting into what I call the big four. Including last week, it was the big five, obviously. We're getting into the big four for environment, for the Sustainable Development Goals. Remember, if you want to donate, jump over here. If you want to give us a follow, you know the whole like, subscribe, press the bell thing. And then, of course, get up on the old socials and see what we're doing. It's lovely to see we've got Anaya here today. Hello, Anaya. We'll see you on Saturday, I guess. Another wonderful Kid Against Plastic. Oh, look at that. I'm in my different office positioning again. Some of you may have noticed. But yeah, let's get on with this because I have a feeling today is going to be a bit of a tricky one. So the quote for this week is nature provides a free lunch, but only when we control our appetites. Hi there, Noemi. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us. And this was from William Ruckelshaus, a former United States Assistant Attorney General. Now, he said this back in the 60s. Things haven't changed. Nature does still provide us with everything we need, but we need to stop taking. There are some really alarming statistics in today's show, in today's lesson. Hi there. Hi, Silvina. Lovely to see you. Always a pleasure. Yes, of course. Inaya will also, I will be joining Inaya, Innovations Across the Nations, speaking on the 1st of May. Do check out Nest for Us and Kids Against Plastic. They'll be hosting that. Do get on there and register. Inaya might even put the registry into the chat box for us there if you want to come along and see people talking about what we can do to make a difference. So, as I said here, nature provides a free lunch, but only when we control our appetites. What does that mean to you? To me, that is the essence of responsible consumption and production. We have become consumption monsters. We cannot stop consuming. You know, we even do it with content online. We consume content constantly. But we consume everything. We consume too much water. We consume too much food. We consume too much plastic. Everything has gone seemingly somewhat crazy. And we need to be careful because a lot of the places that we see this content and the people we see providing us with this information are sometimes trying to pull the wool over our eyes. Now, to pull the wool over somebody's eyes is when you're kind of trying to trick them. And a lot of companies are big into greenwashing. So today's vocab, usually we have 4 words, but today I've only gone with the one because it's a bit of it's a deep one. So I even went ahead and I made a video, which you may have seen on Instagram, you may have seen on Facebook. I posted it about half an hour ago. I'm going to let you watch it now. But greenwashing does have so many different meanings. I want you to see what you take from the meaning of this video. So, if they aren't greenwashing, what is it? Let's take a quick look first at the dictionary. The Oxford Learner's Dictionary says greenwashing is activities by a company or an organisation that are intended to make people think that it is concerned about the environment, even if its real business actually harms the environment. So, when companies say they're doing great things, when really, maybe they're not. So what are some examples of greenwashing? Can you think of any? A recent one came with Apple. They've stopped selling chargers and AirPods with their new phones in an effort to reduce waste, by all accounts. Yet people still have to go and buy new chargers and AirPods, and they've made $6.5 billion in the last 2 years on these two products since they banned it. If they wanted an answer, I'm sure there could be an exchange, or they could say, do you have a charger? If you do, we'll reduce this $38 from your price package. Do they do that? They don't. Instead, they profiteer and pretend it's for the planet. Innocent drinks. Now, there they are. Looked the wrong way at first, didn't I? Are they really innocent? Absolutely not. So first of all, as we can see, they come in single-use plastic bottles. So when they released their advert in 2019 saying how great they were for the environment, perhaps that wasn't 100% true. With their innocent and holier-than-thou looking image, would you think they came from the world's worst plastic polluters, Coca-Cola? Perhaps you wouldn't. Maybe they're trying to distance themselves from that for a reason. H&M, the lovely, lovely brand who love to be conscious with their clothing, recently found that 96% of their claims were untrue and unfounded. And in fact, unsurprisingly, a fast fashion brand wasn't doing its best to help the environment. But it can be difficult to see what is greenwashing and what isn't greenwashing. A way I like to look at it is it's taken from whitewashing. So usually greenwashing is there to cover up something bad that's happened. It's a little bit like me saying, hey, I've got a dog. I love animals, they're great, and showing you my dog and celebrating my dog, and then you come to my house and look in the cellar and I've got thousands of brutally murdered kittens down there. Well, that's kind of what greenwashing is like, with a lot of these companies are saying, look at this wonderful thing we're doing, while they're actually out there destroying the planet at that very same moment. So what different types of greenwashing can you think of? There are hundreds, there are thousands, and we need to be able to define what's the difference between a company that are out there genuinely trying to make a difference, trying to do something in a sustainable way, and a company that's out there just faking it to try and make as much. Tell me some of your discoveries on greenwashing below. I'll see you next time. So there we go. A quick video there about what greenwashing is, and I think it's so important for this SDG in particular, this Sustainable Development Goal. So let's move on and have a look. It is number 12, and it is responsible consumption and production, and it's something that I think could well be the most important of all the environmental SDGs if we actually got a handle on it and dealt with it properly, which we are not doing in any way, shape or form. We just continue to consume and produce and consume and produce. This endless wheel thinking, well, if we recycle, everything will be okay. Really, it won't. We need to stop this infinite cycle. You can see the image there of the infinity sign. It's supposed to be like some kind of circular economy, I think. But is this SDG really just the biggest bit of greenwashing of them all? So many governments had agreed to lots of targets, but actually have done absolutely nothing of the sort. Look at the UK looking at drilling another 42 ways of getting oil. Seriously, this doesn't seem to be particularly responsible. So we have all of these different ideas. Implement 10-year sustainable consumption and production framework. Well, guys, we're 7 years in. How's that going? Sustainable management and use of natural resources. failing on that one. Half global per capita food waste. How's that one going, guys? Are we doing well? Are we actually bringing any attention to it? Or are we leaving it to individual companies like Too Good To Go to make that difference? Are governments out there trying to make a difference? Slowly we're seeing things change, like with Morrison's reducing the sell-by date on milk and asking people to check for themselves. But are they doing that simply for profit? Who knows? Responsible management of chemicals. I'll be honest, I don't know how well that's going. Sustainability, reduced waste generation. Doesn't seem to be a huge thing on that. All I can see is recycling and people recycling more and more clothes here, there and everywhere. To encourage companies to adapt sustainable practices and sustainable reporting. Now, this is the one that really gets my goat. So that gets me angry. Encourage companies to do this. Encourage companies. Hang on a minute. We were locked in our houses for 51 days by law because of a global pandemic. Now, can we not say we'll encourage companies? Can we not enforce laws on companies to ensure they are achieving these goals? Because I think that's kind of important. Promote sustainable public procurement practices. Oh, that's nice. Lots of lovely words there. Well done. Good job. And promote universal understanding of sustainable lifestyles. That does not mean just recycling. According to some people, recycling is the be-all and end-all. But is it really? I don't think it is. It's useful. It's a good thing to do. But that is not a sustainable lifestyle. And going out there and constantly buying more and more things is not sustainable. Now, I knew I might get a bit irate, so I apologise. I'm gonna try and put this in the past, and I'm gonna move on. But we are going to look at some unfun facts very soon, and you can see the questions for those in a moment. But we need to look at this. The material footprint is rapidly growing. We'll see just how much very soon. It's growing faster than population. It's growing faster than economic growth. We can see there that developed countries are using 1/5 of natural resources across the globe. This just is not okay. These are areas that governments can make a difference and stop palming the blame off onto the individual and saying, yeah, well, do you know what? You need to turn the tap off while you're brushing your teeth. Yes, you do need to do that, but also there are lots of other things that governments need to do to stop that, to stop these different issues occurring. We need to, I don't know, let's look at water for one moment. Why isn't there a law? Why isn't there a rule that on the ticket inside here, on the label, it says how much water was used to produce a garment? Or what is the carbon footprint of each garment? Why is that not the law? Why is that something that, only ecomaniacs think of? I don't know, but it's time for Unfun Facts. Now, Unfun Frank couldn't be here today because he's out protesting with Just Stop Oil. He's out there trying to make a difference, so it's up to me, I'm afraid. Let's see if I can take a breath and maybe calm down a bit before we get into these Unfun Facts. So, can you see that over there? I think the answer is yes. Every year, 5 trillion plastic bags are thrown away. 5 trillion? 5 trillion. 5 trillion. Yeah? Not even 8 billion people living on the planet. How do we need that many plastic bags? What can we do to avoid this? When you go to your supermarket the next time and the supermarket person says to you, would you like a bag? Rather than just saying, no thanks, talk to the person who's offering you the bag and say, is there a chance that the next person that comes in, you don't just offer them a bag and wait for them to ask for it? Because maybe that will reduce it a little bit. They do that here in the village where I live. Yes, exactly. And I have 5 trillion. Like, seriously, I can't. It's an unfathomable number. To count to 1 billion, it would take you 311 years. So I don't know how we count to 1 trillion. We don't, basically. Now the next one's all about e-waste. Now I'm as bad as anybody else for this. If you go into my cellar, you'll see there are probably 5 mobile phones down there that my wife and I have gathered over the last 7 or 8 years. We have photos on them that we should have taken off, and we should have taken them somewhere to be recycled. Not everybody's perfect, but of the 7.3 kilos of e-waste that we generate every year, only 1.7 kilos gets recycled. Now, we need bigger projects on this. This is something that the recycling bins should be dealing with. This is something that mobile phone companies like Apple should be dealing with. You want a discount on your phone? Great. Give us back your old phone. We'll give you a discount. The fossil fuel industry benefits from, get ready for this, $11 million every minute of subsidies. That's them being paid to make sure we can all still afford to pay for this oil. It's still subsidised at $11 million every minute. Every minute. There were 2 years when the subsidies dropped, but they've gone up again, and governments and banks are supporting this again. They are. They are the most unfun facts. Absolutely, and I completely agree. And here, this one is the one that absolutely blows my mind. This is one that individuals can make a difference with. Our material footprint has increased by 70% in the 17 years between 2000 and 2017. 70% more things we are using. Do we need that many more things? Now, there's a few reasons for this. One of them is we're just greedy and we love convenience and we just keep buying stuff. Yes, that's true. Another thing, things aren't built to last anymore. And with then, stuff like mobile phones, again, we're marketed every year. There's a new one, there's a brand new one. And if you get this one, then you'll be even more handsome. Or if you do this, you'll run even faster. So there are all these different conflicting ideas coming at us. Everyone telling us, you need to buy this. You got there on the TV, you're on the internet, you got ads popping up all over the place. You must buy this new thing to make you more attractive, and everybody will want to be with you if you have all these new things. It's difficult to disconnect from that and ignore that. There are things that we need to do, and we need to reduce this. We need to reduce our material footprint. We need to stop buying stuff. And if we are buying stuff, we need to think, where are we buying this stuff from? Let's think about it. Let's try and get places where maybe the materials are recyclable. Maybe they are second-hand. There are all these different options that are available nowadays. Let's open our eyes and let's look at them. So, true or false? Oh, look at that. I've jumped straight ahead and given you all of them. So, true or false? 5 trillion plastic bags are thrown away every year. True or false? Every year we throw away 5 trillion plastic bags. 5 trillion plastic bags every year. Even if you sing it in a fun, happy way, it doesn't make it a fun, happy fact, does it? Inaya, absolutely true. Thank you very much. Next one. We recycle a lot of our e-waste. Is it true or false? 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 Do we recycle a lot of our e-waste? Do we recycle a lot of our e-waste? I don't know. Is it true or is it false? It's up to you. Wow, I've got all the songs going on today. It is false. Inaya, you're an absolute superstar today. It's freaking false, Sylvia. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And the last fact of all, we use less now than in the year 2000. When I was 16, I had hair. I could only dream of growing a beard like this back then. I think I had a little bit there. Do we use less now than we did in the year 2000? I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. I think we all know that it is, of course, absolutely false. We obviously don't. But what can we do about that? We do need to reduce that. there are steps we can take as individuals. There are collective steps we can take as groups. We can share things. We can help each other. There are apps we can use to reduce our waste. But things do also need to be made to last because, you know, if my computer stops working and it can't be repaired, then I need to get a new computer because otherwise, how do I connect to you incredible people across the planet? I just don't know. I wouldn't be able to. Okay, so some video questions. We're going to be talking to Maxim Gelmann. He's brilliant. I absolutely love him. He has come up with some sustainable straws. Now, it's not the paper ones, which, by the way, McDonald's, more greenwashing here, back again in 2019, introduced their paper straws. And they were like, yeah, we're brilliant. We've got paper straws, which you can recycle. They couldn't be recycled, for a start. And B, they were not sustainably sourced. So, thanks, McDonald's, for your greenwashing there. But doesn't wash with me, I'm afraid. So, as with any listening or any watching, it's always good to read the questions first. So what is SDG12? We probably know the answer to that already. This guy has written it wrong on there. He's written responsible production and consumption, but it should be the other way around. Although, should it? Should the production not come first? So how is Maxim better known? He calls his pasta straw a small solution to what? How long do the cups last with hot or cold drinks? And what flavours does he mention? So here we're going over to Maxim and our interview with Mr. Stroodles. We've just given you another answer already. So I'll let you go over there. If you want to grab the worksheet, you can. Otherwise, just keep these in mind and we'll come back to them very shortly. So welcome back to the interview section. We've got our expert with us here today. It's Mr. Stroodles himself, Maxim Gelmann. So Maxim, thank you so much for joining us. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure. So yeah, I'm Maxim and better known as Mr. Stroodles. And basically I'm the founder of Stroodles Eco Tableware, basically trying to show and inspire how easy and fun sustainability can be, and set up the company about 3.5 years ago. Kind of with a wide range of products, like with the pasta drinking straw, edible spoons, cups, plates. So basically just easy changes without much compromises.
How did you come up with pasta straws?
Yes, so that's the beauty, in its packaging with Mr. Stroodles. That's our little sustainability hero. So no, basically just saw tubular pasta being used for fun. And basically then all things started making click in my head and decided that it's a genius solution and kind of needs to be rolled out and shown to the world because it's a small solution to a very big problem.
What led you to go into sort of other edible tableware?
Yeah, well, it was just a natural extension really, because I mean obviously it's good to replace one thing, but then I think some people use more, I don't know, cups, there's more scenarios. So it's just about having as many touch points as possible that allow to make more difference in that sense. And so all other tableware was kind of the most next obvious choice, so to say. So that's when obviously the edible cups. So I've bitten that one off, little edible spoons and different flavors. So that's where that then came from, basically.
Big question. How good does it taste?
Very good. The cups taste like ice cream cone, basically, like wafer, but while still keeping its integrity. So they last 40 minutes with hot and cold drinks. Then the spoons, I mean, that's a chocolate one. So it tastes basically of just like a piece of chocolate. That's an oat flavored one. And then I have bigger normal soup spoons. They're black pepper, masala, classic and chocolate flavor again. So basically you can eat your cereal bowl, eat your spoon, basically consume the whole thing. No more washing up. So energy cost saving there as well.
See, for me, this is where this is such a fantastic idea. At the end of the birthday party, there's just so much junk and rubbish. But the other thing is, the amount of food waste there is, because people will like leave it on the plate. Now, if you can eat your plate, then you're not going to waste food either.
New campaign.
It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful having you here. Thank you so much for answering our questions, and with that smile that you always have. I can see where Mr. Stroodles got his smile from. Absolutely brilliant, Maxim. You've been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
So there we go. That was the interview with Maxim just the other day. So, what do you think? SDG 12, is it number 1, is it number 2, or is it number 3? It's obviously number 3. Let's see if I can just correct that right now. Let's just get in there. There we go. I've just been delivered a wonderful note on this wonderful Easter day by my daughter Alethea. She just brought this in here. That has melted my heart like a chocolate egg on an Easter egg hunt sitting out in the hot April sun. So yeah, it is responsible consumption and production. Good job. So what is he better known as? Is he better known as the Strudel guy, Senor Strudel, or Mr. Stroodles? Oh, thanks, Inaya. She's done a good job, hasn't she? I do love that. Oh my. It is Mr. Stroodles. So what does he call the pasta straws? They're a small solution to a... This was tricky, this one. The last 3 are actually quite tricky. A small solution to a big problem. Very good. Now, Mr. Stroodles doesn't just talk the talk. He also walks it. He is helping with the Scouts. Somebody we're connected with through Kids Against Plastic. Thomas goes to the Scouts, and he is involved with the Scouts, and Mr. Stroodles helps out with the Scouts as well. How long... can the cups last? Not to the cups last. God, I've done lots of very wonderful spelling mistakes here, haven't I? So how long do the cups last with hot and cold drinks? How long do the cups last with hot and cold drinks? 40 minutes. Look at that. Inaya is absolutely on it today. So is Silvina. Let's see who can get the fastest answer here to what flavours he mentions. He mentions quite a few. I'm not expecting all of them. Just give me 2 of those flavours. Black pepper and chocolate. You're absolutely on fire today, Inaya. Doesn't surprise me. You're off on our ice cream cone as well, exactly. And there was oatmeal too. I tell you what. I really, really, really want to try that. Masala as well. Very good. They're only available in a few places here in Spain at the moment, but I tell you what, I really want to have a party with the edible table where it is like my dream now. Next year, for my birthday next year. Not long to wait now, only 11 months and 11 days or something. Anyway, that was our interview, and it was lovely to speak to Maxim. Now, everybody's favourite moment, everybody's favourite time is absolutely 100% Ali's top tips. Here come Ali's top tips. Keep your eye out. On your worksheet, you can write them down if you want, if you have the worksheet, or just think about some of your own ideas. You may have already seen these on Instagram this week, but here we go.
Hi, and welcome to Ali's Top Tips. Today, we're talking about responsible consumption and production. If you don't need it, don't buy it. If the food's wrapped in plastic, don't buy it. Look out for greenwashing. They're probably not as green as they say they are. Buy second hand as much as you can. Choose reusable products. Thanks for watching. Bye.
So there were just a few very simple tips that we could take upon ourselves to go out there and make a difference. Of course, campaigning is always very important, trying to make sure production is dramatically reduced, particularly in terms of fossil fuels and the fossil fuel industry. So before we go, I am going to remind everybody, if you would like, feel free, jump over, give us a donation if you want. Do subscribe. Why not? You've got a free lesson here every Thursday. Who wouldn't want to come along? And here you go. You can follow us here as well as on Twitter. And now an insanely exciting announcement, I think. Yeah, insanely exciting. So next week, obviously, is climate action, the one that we look at as the big one. I have got probably my two favourite climate action-y guests for next week. I am going to be speaking to the amazing, the incredible, the wonderful Amy and Ella from Kids Against Plastic. They're going to be our expert guests next week. But even better than that, if you don't want to wait until next week to see the short version of the interview, you can come along on Tuesday at 4:30 UK time, 5:30 Spanish time, and we're going to be going live on Instagram. We're going to be live, and of course, it's on the 1st of May. Do come along and join us at Innovations Across Nations. I'll remind you about that next Thursday, obviously, because next Thursday is the day before Earth Day. So do keep your eyes open as well. There's going to be a lot of greenwashing about. We're going to get some tips from Amy and Anna next week on how to avoid greenwashing as well. But until then, take it easy. It's been absolutely lovely having you here. I think Ali's come to say goodbye.
Bye.
So thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you next week when we're talking all about climate action.